Hello and welcome back.
Welcome back. Welcome back. We're here. Hey, y'all.
We're queer. Hey, y'all.
You know. How you doing?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so how have you been, my love?
Busy. Booked and busy.
This whole summer.
And we're still in July.
Yeah.
Well, she about to go too. Because
Yeah.
the way... Yes.
Can we talk about how fast the summer went by?
Where's the summer? Because... Help me.
We didn't have no summer hits. We didn't have...
Because Beyonce ain't released her track yet.
no bald-headed hoe shit. I don't know. There was no trend. There was no nothing. It just came. I mean, we had that Spin It.
Yes. Yes.
That came close to then.
Yeah, that was like late June, early July. No, I don't know. I just heard the song when it came out.
In July. So that's why I'm like, okay.
I think it... Never mind. Wrong topic. Because you already know.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so, we're going to start this off with the I love you.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like I said, I wanted to switch it up to, instead of saying I love you, but I wanted to have an open-ended question related to the love topic. So for this one, our next question is, I love learning about you. What has love taught you about yourself?
I'm a bad bitch. No. Okay. But no, what love has taught me about myself is I'm a very, very, very giving person. I am very giving. And I have a big heart because I'm going to say it like this. I have a big heart because I have experienced and tolerated a lot of shit that I shouldn't have in life. But even in spite of that, I'm always, in my own way, finding ways to meet people where they are and to give grace at a distance. Yeah. But yes. How about you?
Love has taught me that it can be shown in different ways and not to shut out the ways that I may not expect it to or want to receive it in, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, some people show love in different ways, and you can't require people to love you the way that you want them to love you. If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
I understand, however, I disagree. Because the way that you receive love is the way that you receive love. The challenge or the task is finding
I'm sorry. I think I said it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you to look for love in a way that you don't try to receive the love that you give.
Got you. Yeah. So we were about to meet in the same spot.
Yeah. So I was like, I might have said it wrong. We got there.
Yeah. Receive.
Yeah.
That's dope.
So that's what it's talking. So for this episode, we're gonna be talking about
dating. And real quick, I'm gonna just go ahead and slide it in on what we sipping on real quick because I am, because it actually was a beautiful segue from what love has taught you about yourself. Our cocktail for today is called Love Language. Okay. The recipe, of course, will definitely be in the description. Try it out. And again, like dating, it starts off sweet, but if there's no balance, it's not going to last. And hell, if there is balance, sip up. So, yes. Really sweet. Mm-hmm. With a kick at the end.
It's real cute.
Because we love our brown liquor. When you see the recipe, you'll understand.
That's why I said a lot of people like white and was like,
nah.
Because they say brown. A lot of people say brown make them want to fight, but I feel like.
Or frown.
Yeah, I feel like that's what clear liquor does.
And tequila.
Yeah. Well, we're not tequila people, but it'll put hair on your chest.
I didn't need it, but yeah.
Something like, So for this episode, since we're talking about dating, of course, the games are going to be related to dating. So with this game that we have set up right now, how it's going to go? Let's see. The name of the game is What's Your Approach? What's your approach?
This is going to be bad.
So we have 4 options. I'm going to read a scenario, and then we're going to pick how you would approach it. So A is bold, where you would make the first move immediately. B is a slow burn where you would want to build a friendship first. C, you're just flirty, having a little banter, using humor and being playful. And then D, be a little mysterious. Let them come to you. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we both have the cards, and we're both gonna. When I read the scenario, we're gonna pick which card.
Okay.
And if you want to explain, you can. If you don't, you don't. Right. So
the girls that get it,
and the girls that don't. So you lock eyes with someone across the bar. 1, 2, 3.
Come to you. Make them put in some work. You already there. Shit. Yeah. And how many drinks is that you met them at the bar? Like, how many drinks is that before they even locked up? Y'all get what I'm saying.
Girl, I don't know if you're distracted. I don't know if you're looking at the wall, the person behind me. Like, I might be thinking it's flirty, and then like something might be wrong with your eye. Actually, like something like a lash or something might be in their eye, or they don't have their glasses on. Or they don't have their glasses on, and they're just trying to see.
And also because we believe in accepting all identities. Right. Some people, the eyes looking.
So I'm over here smiling, and you over there fighting for your life, trying to see like who the hell that is
with your glasses on
or without.
That part.
So the next one, you've matched on a dating app, but neither of you have messaged. Ready?
Matched.
But none of you have messaged. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
I make the first move because why are we playing? Clearly, there's something that you saw in me that attracted you for you to match. Mm-hmm. Clearly, I saw something that I saw in you that had us match. Mm-hmm. What are we playing for?
For me, it's like the same thing like with Instagram or like back then, if you like somebody, you would just go and like some of their pictures. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't really like go in their DMs and message them, but you would make it known that I'm interested. Mm-hmm. So I think that with dating apps, I would do the same thing of like sending a wave or sending a thing, and then wait for you to like message if you do
receive. However, unfortunately, in my history of dating, I'm always the one to make the first move because unfortunately, the resting bitch face is real.
Okay. Your friend wants to set you up with someone.
No.
Ready? Oh, wait, that's not it. So ready? 1, 2, 3.
I'll be flirty. I'll play.
Oh, I'll do the slow burn.
No, because we can joke around because this is the joke.
It's not a joke, but I'll do flirty.
Prove it.
I'll be a little flirty.
Yeah, I'll flirt. I'll joke around. Mm-hmm. Like, especially if there is a spark.
Yeah.
But also, I don't know you yet.
That's why I picked to build the friendships, the slow burn. But I mean, the flirty part too, yeah.
But I'm going
to say X, BC.
You go for that. I'll flirt because, again, at the end of the day, I've at least showed that there is interest. The ball's now in your court of what happens next. Yeah. I can't do everything.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not sure.
Someone you think is cute starts following you on Instagram. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Period. Same. Okay. Next one. You meet someone at Pride who's clearly interested. 2, 3. Oh, bold. I'll be flirty.
Again, even if I'm flirty, folks won't go beyond the flirting. I have to I'm a nerd, babe. Like, it's like, oh, he's so cute. It's like, nah, don't play with me like that. So I gotta be clear.
Clear. All right. You notice someone reading your favorite book at a coffee shop. Okay, with this one, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Are you really reading, or do you not understand what's going on?
Then I would be bold. I'm like, oh, I like this thing. I like that book. Mm-hmm. And then probably start talking about it and blah, 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 blah.
But wouldn't that be the slow burn, building a friendship? Because you're building commonality and connection. Nah, I get what you're saying. Yeah. That's your perspective. I respect.
Because then I'd be like, oh, do you want to, we can exchange numbers. We can read something.
I'll give you my email.
But, okay. Well, I typically, we'll get into that. Red, last one. Mm-hmm. Someone posts a story that gives you the perfect excuse to respond.
Someone posts a story.
on their Instagram that gives you the perfect excuse to respond. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
I don't know. I still would be like, I would still play coy. Because if you about it, be about it.
And I'll be flirty. Because I'll comment something. I don't know if that's being bold.
But if your comment, if it's something, like, even if your comment isn't, like, directly in a response to what they're talking about, it's like, oh, okay, I see you.
Mm.
I feel that's a little, no, that's flirty.
Mine is flirty.
Because, like, the most I would do if I see something that definitely is directly speaking to me from a person of interest, or vice versa, like, I was like, okay, but that's probably liquid courage or some other bullshit. Like, prove it. Prove it.
Okay, I see that. All right, so that was our little, how would you approach it? It was cute.
This was cute. It was really cute.
Just like this cocktail, real cute.
When I tell y'all, my man is phenomenal. He is truly the family activities director. Okay, he makes sure we know what we're doing at the time. I just make sure we eat, and we get there on time.
Okay, I need you here, stand there, lighting here, voice note there.
Yeah.
Camera.
Yeah. Where's my camera?
Action. Okay. So with this one, like I said, we wanted to talk about the dating, how we approach dating, and just getting a feel for like the gay scene and how us coming out. Because we initially talked about us coming out, so we want to talk about like initially us figuring out how to date and what was our approach, and how we like learned about what was the best approach for us.
Absolutely.
Because I know some people have gay moms, some people have parents who will sit there and tell them like what you should and shouldn't do, or just give tips on how to go about dating. But I know for me, because I am the oldest single parent household, my father was incarcerated. Like, we didn't have that many male figures.
Yeah.
Especially gay. I think I only had 2 cousins that I knew, and they were much older than me, and they wasn't always, because they were much older, they wasn't around that often because they were off doing their own thing. So it's like, who do I go to ask questions? How do I know, like, what do you do to court somebody, or like what's the right thing to say? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So our first question is, how did you approach dating? And I think for me, I think the easiest thing was through social media and dating apps. So initially, if I started in high school, MySpace. Let's bring it back to MySpace.
You were MySpace.
MySpace.
If there is a renaissance of MySpace, my man will be there. Well, he will be leading.
I know the older girls.
Who are the older girls? What you looking at me for?
The older girls will probably say BGC Live.
First of all, actually, MySpace was before BGC Live.
But was it?
It was. It was. Because MySpace happened when I was still in high school. I didn't learn about BGC Live until I got into college.
That means you learned about it.
Either way.
Right.
Keisha. Tell your story and stay over there.
So you had her than me. I said the older girls.
And then you kept looking at me.
Okay, so MySpace, if we're talking about high school, MySpace was where I could be, that was like my whole gay world.
Yeah.
Because my mother was not on MySpace. None of my family was on MySpace. Like, it was just my friends. And at that time I had already come out. So, I didn't feel like, sequestered or like put in a box to where like I had to like walk on eggshells of like how to express myself. So with MySpace, of course I would post all these like trade photos, but when it came to like who I was messaging, all men. So like it was
How many men like trade?
That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying like I didn't put like rainbow flags or saying LGBTQ or anything like that. So it was, but somehow I was able to find all the gay men on MySpace, and so that's how I was able That's how I was able to start talking to people. And back then, of course, I lied about my age. So I'm talking to all kind. I'm not condoning to do that. But back then, right, back then, and that was also a time where, like, I feel like
it was a different
the
time.
internet was still new, so like not that many perverts and weird people were on the internet trying to scout young people.
It was really our generation using it for what we wanted to use it for. Yes. Yeah.
So with that, it was easier to just hold conversations and just talking about, because I didn't have any sex talks with these people. There was no like sexual innuendos or anything of that nature. We really were just getting to know each other, saying what we like, what we didn't like, and if we wanted to take it offline and talk on the phone. And so that's how that worked for me. So I would talk to people on MySpace, and the ones who were interested in me, of course, we would, okay, let's take this offline, let's exchange numbers and let's talk. And so we would talk on the phone. And then eventually that's how I started dating a couple of people. And then if we fast forward to college, of course, you know, I've dated a couple of people face to face, and it was all about trying to figure out what it is that I want in a partner. And I always knew that I wanted somebody who was loyal. I didn't want anybody who's going to cheat on me. I didn't want anybody who's going to lie to me. And I knew that I wanted somebody who had ambition. I didn't care if you worked at Walmart. I didn't care if you didn't finish high school. Like back then, those things didn't really matter to me. It was, do you want more in life? Do you want more in life? Because I want you to strive to be the best in whatever position that you're in. So if you work at McDonald's, are you striving to be management one day? If you didn't finish school, do you plan on going back, or do we want to do a trade, or do you want to start your own business? Like, I need you to do something with your life. So I never wanted to hold anybody in the box, and I never judged anybody of where they are. I always met them where they're in whatever circumstance they were in. But I knew I needed to set a standard of what I wanted. Loyalty, honesty, ambition. That was the three that I started with. So with dating, I also looked at people's behavior, because you can say something, but how you act is what I need to focus on. Because if those things don't agree, or like he said, align, then you're putting on a facade for me. And I know eventually, once we get comfortable, that mask is going to come off. And then I'm stuck with, not stuck, but now I'm in it.
You stuck.
Yeah, because now
because emotions are attached.
I invested in it now. So you know what I'm saying? So now I'm starting to pay attention to patterns. Now back when I was younger, I always felt like I can fix somebody. Like if I saw these patterns, I can fix them. You know, they just need help. They just need support. They just need me to, you know, be that extra push that they need in the right direction. And so, of course, as I got older, I'm like, okay, I can't, because I used to call them fixer niggas. like Build a Bear. You know, they have Build a Bear. It's like fix a nigga or build a nigga. And I'm like, I used to be heavy on that because, and you can say that's through trauma. Because I'm like, I've been in a space and I'm like, I know I needed help. So I'm like, okay, let me be that help for this person. But I'm like, you can't build every nigga. You know what I'm saying? They need to fix themselves. So.
I'm sorry. It was the drink.
Oh, okay. So that was typically my approach. Like, I set a standard of what I was looking for. You can say my standards were low at that time. But I set a standard of what I was looking for, and then I paid attention to patterns. And then, of course, I wanted to be around that person.
Yeah.
So we need to go on dates, or we need to hang out. You know what I'm saying? And the thing was, with those patterns, if y'all hang out frequently and this person just always wants to have sex with you, I feel like that's a problem. Because why are you not trying to get to know me? Why is every encounter something sexual? Even if it's a joke, or if it's in conversation, why are we constantly referring back to sex? You know what I'm saying? There's so much more to talk about. So those were the things I also paid attention to, because obviously you're playing the long game. To me, you're playing the long game of being on my good side until you get what you want. And then once you get what you want, then it's like, okay, either you're going to discard me or you're not going to try as hard after that.
Is that long game or more so just transactional?
I was going to say, it could be both. But I think when I say the long game, some people, they're entertaining you until they get what they want.
Those are called Decepticons.
That's what he calls it. So.
Look it up. It's a Decepticon.
So what about you?
So listen. And I already know I have to step into the second question, because how I approach dating, one, let's be clear, I'm a late bloomer, was a late bloomer. I did not come out until the 18, 19. So even though I knew there was a difference, whatever, focus, Anthony. So ultimately, how I approach dating, I really looked for what my mom and dad have.
Because they're still together.
They're still together.
How long have they been together?
But 38 years they've been together. And transparently, and this shows my naivety and my immaturity in growing up, I thought that as long as you loved each other, everything else worked out. Because transparently, that's how my parents presented life. That's how they presented the relationship. Like yes, we might have heard arguments here and there, but that I would say maybe 3 big nasty arguments that we've heard. And literally, it's always been words, never physical contact. So I was always seeking what they had in whatever came about. So first, let's start with the list. Because again, mind you, I did not start engaging with guys until college. So one, I had lists, and I guess you can align this with my pseudo standards at the time. You could not be in school. Like, you needed to be in school. Like, I didn't care. Because if I'm in school, you're in school. What are you doing? Also, I had a really, 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 really rigid rule of you cannot be within 5 years proximity of my dad. So basically, I limited my dating to no more than age. Yeah. Okay. So like no more than, for me at the time, I was 18 to 20 specifically is when I really started cultivating this rule. Really, I didn't go beyond anyone beyond 25. However, realize, nigga, you still in the same pond. We got to go to the ocean. So with folks that got some experience and got some with itness to them. And so and one thing I did do as I grew up, like I expanded my age range in both directions. Because at first I did not date anyone younger than me. I was always either looking for someone my age or at least 1-2 years older than me. Mm-hmm. So a lot of technicalities to me, because I was looking at, literally, I looked at the model I had, and I was just like, bitch, if it works for them, it's going to work for goddamn me, and I'm going to make it work. Yeah. Never asked any fucking questions, though, mind you. So there's that. So I had the list. So had to be in school, and if you weren't in school, then you already had to have a degree. Mm-hmm. You had to have a salaried career, like all the things, right? Superficial shit. To an extent, superficial shit. But what I found in that, because one thing that I would do that, well, hindsight 2020 fucked me over, I would tell folks. I would tell the guys that were at least showing interest in me or that I had interest in exactly what I was looking for. Mm. And what would you think would happen after I tell them exactly what I'm looking for? They would get quiet, disappear for a little bit, and pop back, and eventually, and apparently all of a sudden have all these things, have all these accomplishments and all these things, and whatever. And so that's where Decepticons came up for my life. And again, for me, this is transparently speaking about throughout my life, 15 relationships that I've had that calm down. That folks have contorted themselves to fit my mold instead of just being themselves, or because I wasn't very, very clear about what I actually wanted and needed and desired, we got Decepticons. And honestly, at times, taking ownership and accountability, sometimes I too was a Decepticon because I was seeking something that I actually didn't want. So mom and dad were the model. So approaching dating, it was BGC and jacked. And transparently speaking, because like I said in the game, very few people ever had the audacity in a good way, to approach me. Because RBF, it's just there. I can't help it. But then also, I was a very, very involved person in the community. I was doing a whole bunch of shit. I was a part of SD Black Pride. I was the youngest president. I started the GSA at my school, at my college. Like, I was an active person. So folks, after individuals got to know me and started talking to me, they're like, the number one thing is like, I never thought that you were this cool and chill and crazy. Well, fun. Not crazy, fun. It's interchangeable to me. But that was the first thing, because they look at how I show up in spaces. The second thing that was always a recurring factor was the sex. And I know this is going into another question, but it was in those spaces of, honestly, a lot of my relationships started from, we had conversation, but if the sex was good, it's like, okay. Yeah. And things just kind of stayed there. Mm-hmm. And then when you wake up out of that trance, or you really realize, it's like, hold up, we've been together 6 months, because I till him 6 months. It's like, but nothing has changed. Nothing has developed. Yet I'm still depleted. The fuck is going on? Mm-hmm. So my approach to dating was very experimental, I think is the best way to describe it, until I got to a space, and I would say that was more towards until late 20s into early 30s, that I was just like, I really just want individuals that are confident in who the fuck they are. Yeah. Let's start there. Know who you are and being confident in that. And then beyond that confidence, it was also like, what are you doing with it? So that can, as you talked about, like doing something with yourself, having ambition, having vision, having dreams, having goals, and not just being okay with what, quote unquote, life has given you. So that was my approach. And as y'all see, it's worked out for me.
Girl, I was going to say that I like what you said about it being experimental, and I feel like that's in your 20s, that is what dating is all about. One, I need people to realize there's a difference between dating and being in a relationship.
Talk about it.
I think people misconstrue dating as being in a talking stage of being in a relationship. And I'm like, that's not...
Dating is trial and error.
It's trial and error. And you can date multiple people at once. Or if you're that person who wants to date one person at a time, that's also fine too. But that doesn't mean that you're in a relationship. Mm-hmm. So don't fully invest in this one person, not knowing who they are fully, and not knowing if this is going to work out. Because then... you're brokenhearted, or you're shattered, or because you felt like you wasted so much time in this person when all y'all were doing was just dating. Mm-hmm. Y'all were not in a relationship because y'all didn't have the communication to decide to discuss what y'all wanted out of this. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So
what I will say, first off, kudos to you. It does, because you literally said a lot of shit I was about to say. What I will add to that
That's
is
not 30s though. Yeah, we started dating close in our 30s.
Understood, but no, I'm saying you said what I was about to chime in and speak to. Okay. And so, and to the same effect of dating is that experimentation, it's the trial and error. It's also understanding that, and I think that we gotta understand that words mean things. Yeah. Dating is a continual process until you get to a plateau or the next level. And again, be reminded, because think about it, even when you're in a relationship, you still date your partner. So dating is not exclusive to the introductory get to know you phase. Dating is something that you choose to do to consistently build a bond and or connection. Okay. So the second question, which, this will be interesting. So how does internalized homophobia, or how did internalized homophobia make dating harder, or what challenges did you see or experience?
For me, I remember I did not want to date. I fell in that category of like people who didn't want to date femmes. Because I felt like that was going to be like too much, like our relationship would be too much on display, or like it would just be too much, and I didn't want that much attention. Because if you know me, you know I'm really chill, I'm really like quiet, put to the side, down to earth. And of course I do have my feminine qualities, but I was like, if I was to date somebody who's like overly feminine, I was like, I don't know, like what are my people going to say? This is going to attract more attention towards from outsiders, and is that going to cause more problems that we have to consistently confront all of these people? Do I want that? You know what I'm saying? Like, that was one of the things. And I also felt like because I was not in a space where I was fully comfortable expressing myself, I was like, okay, I need to like suppress some of the things that I'm interested in to make sure that I can still, one, attract the caliber of people that I want, and not run them away, and also make the people who I surround myself with comfortable, if that makes sense. That
all makes perfect sense. And granted, I don't need you to respond to this. Is more so reflection. How did that serve you?
Right.
Because with everything that you just stated, like for me, again, late bloomer. So no shade for, it would, I won't say it was forced, but I socially inserted myself in relationships for the sake of sociality, if that makes sense. I know sociality is not a word, but look it up. It'll be in the dictionary. Because growing up, I always knew I was different. And I never knew that different was gay or queer or whatever. I knew I had an attraction to guys, but I was just like, but that's in my head. That's for me. Like, no one else knows what that is but me. So the internalized homophobia really kind of stunted my growth for a little bit. Because middle school, high school, I was dating girls. Well, yeah, sure. If we call it dating. My second girlfriend, we went to the movies.
Girl, they held hands, and that was it.
We did kiss.
Oh.
With my permission. My consent and timing.
And hers too, I hope.
She's the one that wanted to.
Oh, okay.
I was good just being side by side. Like, I was good with, I'm her boyfriend, she's my girlfriend. I was set there. I didn't think that, why you gotta touch me? Because, like, transparently, I was just, when it came to women, I was a better friend than I could ever be a partner.
Yeah.
Like, granted, they would disagree because a few of my best girlfriends have been like, oh my God, if we're not married by 30 or 35, whatever the year was, we should just do a lavender wedding and just be together. I'm like,
not lavender wedding.
And I was like, no, baby. Because I like my space. No. So the internalized homophobia stunted my growth in that space, but because, like, even when I actually started getting into relationships, I fell heavily into stereotypes. Because, like you were talking about earlier, like, I had to go through a process of understanding and discovering who the fuck I was.
Yeah. Not
just as an individual, but like as a Black queer individual in the South at the time, at college. And it's just like, girl, what are you doing? Are you sure? And I think also that internalized homophobia put me in a space of always questioning myself. And in that questioning, some spaces of doubt because it's like, well, if you're gay, you can't do this. And if you're gay, you can't do that. And if you're gay, you're expected for this to happen to you. And if you're gay, then this can't happen for you. Yeah. And it's just like trying to balance, for lack of better words, theory to my reality.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is all the things that y'all saying, but this is how I've been living, and it's been pretty good.
Yeah.
And eventually to this place that it's just like, this is who I am, y'all. Take it or leave it. If you don't like it, I don't care. Boom.
And that's why I feel like a lot of gays can relate to DL men. Because at one point you were in the closet. I'm going to say a lot of men. I didn't say all gay men. A lot of gay men can relate to DL men. Because at one point you were in the closet. And for me and my mom had the conversation, but I knew she was not comfortable with that side of who I was. So I just made the executive decision to just keep that separate.
Yeah.
So like school was my safe haven. That's where I can fully express myself. That's where I can be as gay as I wanted to be. And as soon as I got home, I presented a whole different side of myself. You know?
Man.
Not even man. It was just surface level.
Yeah.
So just...
Oh, no, because you came out. Yeah.
So it was just very surface. Like, we're just going to talk about school, academics, work. That's it. We're not going to talk about my dating life. We're not going to talk about the things that I'm thinking about, things I've experienced. We're not going to talk about any of that. Because your actions have made it clear that you're not comfortable with this conversation. So...
I'm not laughing at you. I was laughing at a memory because... my parents never asked about my personal life. My grandmothers did. Every time they saw me, so you got a little girlfriend? No. Well, why don't you have a girlfriend? I'm not in college to focus on girls. I'm in college to get a degree. That was always my response. What they didn't know, I had company and stuff, So... yeah, like that was one of the first, that was the memory that like, oh girl, like nah. Questions were asked, but it was always the same, that's not my focus, I'm not doing that. I wasn't doing that with girls, but you asked about a girlfriend. I don't have that.
Nobody ever asked me if I had a girlfriend because, again, all my life, I feel like majority of my life, I had feminine mannerisms. So it's just like even today, if I walk in a room, like I said, I'm gay. I can't help that. Like it just is what it is, and I don't try to hide it either. It's not like I'm trying to show it up
because they wouldn't.
Because you know what I'm saying, and I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I've been this way my whole life, so why should I change for somebody else? So if I walk in a room and I'm gay, okay.
What you gonna do with that information?
Right. Either you want to fuck me or you don't like me, and we can go from there. And
you can't do the first, so.
Right. Well, no, I'm just playing. So, our next question is it wrong to ask people sexual positions? Is sex on the first date a bad thing?
So, from our community, no. Because that shit's important. Now, yes, because, I do understand, and I have learned.
Do you get the ick if somebody was to ask you, what's your position?
At this age, at this big old age that I'm at now, yes. But when I was really heavily in the dating scene and single, no, because I was asking, because that is also a part of compatibility for us. And my thing is at the end of the day, we have to respect and honor the fact that every single human being is a sexual being. How they engage with that form or that level of intimacy is how they engage, but whatever's important to them is important to them, and you can't deny what's important to them. You only can choose whether to engage with it or not. So I will start with, I don't feel it's wrong, but know your environment, know your people. If they're, like my hubby said earlier, if you're in conversation and it's literally book club talk, social media talk, anime talk, if it's germane to a specific subject, specific subject, keep it to that, respect that. And I would strongly suggest asking consent in a way, however you can, before engaging in those types of conversations with the individual, because you never know what their experiences are, whatever the case might be. Yes. Okay. And then sex on the first date, no, it's not bad. And then I did some research. We did some social research, because if y'all follow us on TikTok, Sippin_on_love, we asked the question, is sex on the first date a bad thing? About a month ago. See, there's intention in our practice. And we got some responses, and the people had talked and had said some things. And I'm just going to share what they said. I'm not going to call out nobody. But one person flat out said, yes, period. Nothing else. It is a bad thing. No.
Okay.
Another person said, it depends. It depends. And I can see the yes, it's a bad thing, and the it depends, because it's also going to depend on where you're coming from and your experiences and who you are as a person. Mm-hmm. Another is you test drive a car before buying, right? And then the last one was just fire signs emoji. I think that's a yes. So, I mean, I know, it's like, nah, bring it on. So I would say I don't think it's a bad thing, as long as it's consensual and it's understood. I don't think it's a bad thing, because you're your own person, they're their own person. If the chemistry's there, if the attraction's there, and it happens, it happens. Go for it to be great. And I'm done. How about you?
For me, I feel like it's not a bad thing. Like you stated earlier, why waste our time? So if I'm up, if I feel like I'm the bold one, and I'm just gonna put it out there, hey, what's your sexual position? Are you the top, bottom, verse, side, whatever? I need to know these things, because I don't want to go 6 months of us communicating, and then now all of a sudden I find out we're both tops, or we're both bottoms, or we're both sides. I guess the thing would be, are we both comfortable with inviting somebody else in our situation? Because a lot of people want monogamy. Yeah. Not a lot, but I'm just saying some people want monogamy. So are we both comfortable with bringing somebody in to be that third person, or are we not? Mm-hmm. And that's going to be a whole nother conversation. So it's just I'd rather us be upfront and figure out where we are. And if that person says, hey, I'm a top and you also a top, okay, let's have that conversation too then. Mm-hmm. That way we have that early on. That way we don't go 6 months late, get to 6 months later and trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So the only reason I feel people have a problem with that question being asked is because they're a bottom or a verse bottom. And I'm going to say because there's a lot of bottom shaming. And I feel like if they answer that question and say that they're a bottom and they're mass presenting, they feel like that's going to be a problem. And I feel like we need to get over this bottom shaming thing, or this verse. Because people say verse doesn't exist, but I feel like it does.
How does it not?
Right.
If you're able to do both, what is that?
But that's attached to that bottom shaming.
But if you're able to do both, what is it?
Because if you're mass presenting and you're also getting penetrated, I feel like that's where the shaming comes in. So if we can have conversations about that and get past that, then I don't think that question would be as offensive or taboo as it is. To ask the next question of, is sex on the first date a bad thing? I used to be one of those people who used to judge people down bad.
Girl.
I'm like, girl, why are you getting up on the first date? Why are you getting up on the first date? Like, what's going on? Are you that desperate? Until I was in that situation.
Don't we love, you know what that's called? Growth.
And what I would say today is, do what you feel. Do how you feel. If you feel like this is a moment where you want to give it up, go ahead. If you feel like this is a person that you have a connection with, and that either you want to explore that side, or if this is just a fling, or if this is just an outlet for you to just release some stress, hey, that's fine. I feel like the biggest thing that a lot of people just miss is communication.
That part.
After it happens, let's communicate either whether moving forward, I want us to just be friends with benefits. Moving forward, we can still be on the path of dating, or just moving forward, I don't want to see you after this. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Like, you know,
that does happen.
Yeah. Yes. And so I feel like we just need to communicate, because a lot of people, the trend now is just ghosting. Ghosting or just going with the flow. And going with the flow leads you into a situationship, and you're like, why are we acting like we're in a relationship, but we're not together with no title? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we just need to communicate those things. So what are some red flags of a bad date? Like, if you look back on all your dates, what would you see as a red flag? Because I got several.
Specifically on the date, always in their phone, number one.
Yes. Yes.
Conversation is always about them. That's another red flag.
Okay.
And also if the conversation is limited to just like, how to word it, like surface level shit, I think is the best way to put it. Mm-hmm. Y'all can interpret that as y'all want, but if it stays always on the surface, regardless of what you're talking about, regardless of what you're trying to like gain a better understanding of, like that's a red flag.
Yeah. I would say the same thing. Like for me, everything that he said, and I think that's why I was single for a good little minute, because a lot of people could not hold conversation. I'm like, I was just bored. I'm like, I can't carry the whole conversation, and then people would be like, but I like you.
Prove it.
I can't tell, because you have nothing to contribute to the conversation. I've been speaking for 2 hours and you said 2 words. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's why when me and him started talking, I was very like appreciative. I was very intrigued, because I was like, our conversations would go on for hours, and it was a back and forth. It was an actual dialogue. I didn't feel like I was having a monologue of just expressing everything that I want to say, or I have to pull teeth to get you to respond. You know what I'm saying? Even through text messages. If I'm texting all these things and you just saying like one sentence, I'm like,
because when we first started, he would throw tables through GIFs. Okay. Yes.
That's when you knew I was upset. But outside of that, we would have deep conversations.
No. I'm saying like when I would respond with those one words or short phrases.
Oh yeah, like, girl, please throw some lotion on this conversation, because it's dry as hell.
Not lotion.
It is dry as hell. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with everything he said. If they're in their phone, if they're not engaging in the conversation, if it seems like they are not just like, they're only talking about themselves, like none of that.
Another one is if they have a habit of bringing up either past relationships or past experiences, and no Sade.
If that takes up the whole conversation.
Right. And no Sade. If every space you go into, they have history with those folks. Yeah.
Because I went on the date with a guy, and literally our whole date was him talking about his ex. Problems between him and his ex. That was our whole date. And so it felt like me giving advice on what you should have done differently, or what they could have been thinking at that time.
My real question is, was he really single?
Was he over his ex? That was the real question. Are you really over your ex? So why am I here?
Both questions, actually.
To fill time. You know what I'm saying? So that was a date actually for me. And what would you say is one of your red flags? And what's a red flag you're willing to overlook? I'm gonna go first.
Please do.
So one of my red flags is upholding double standards. So I can do something, but my man can't do it, because I'm going to feel some type of way. That's one of my red flags. And I tell everybody that I talk to, I hold double standards. I uphold double standards. I don't care. I'm not changing my mindset. It'll just never be. And I guess I'll have to work on that. But for now, I uphold double standards.
He's gotten better. He don't do that shit.
Yeah. No, I still do.
Yeah, we know.
So I was like,
not in the areas that it matters.
Right. So that's one of my red flags. And if I was dating someone, a red flag that I think I might overlook is like someone who I don't know. I can't think on that one.
It sounds like none.
I tell maybe who tell white lies.
What you gotta need to lie for?
Right. Maybe that's it.
Why you gotta lie, Craig? One of my red flags. Let's go to the red flag I'm willing to overlook first, because I thought I had it, but I didn't. So a red flag that I'm willing to overlook, like I told you all, as I grew up, like it was like I wasn't stressed about the whole college degree situation. Granted, degrees. However, in my journey, like that was one thing that I was willing to overlook, because I had to understand that school wasn't for everybody. Granted, looking at what we got going on here, I see why. Mm-hmm. One of my there it is. One of my red flags, I will ghost you in a minute. Like, if the vibes are off, you want some bullshit, yeah, I would disappear and block you. Hell, probably because I'm that type of savage person, I wouldn't even block you, I'd just ignore you. Like, you could text, I would look at it and keep it moving. Like, now once you got to a point that you were annoying me, yeah, you got blocked. But I just stopped engaging. I stopped giving my energy to you. So like my red flag is definitely ghosting. I'm an Aquarius. We're masters of that.
Yeah. And what's
I said it. A red flag that I'm willing to overlook, the education piece.
Okay. Is that a red flag?
Again, in my journey of development, I talked about that. Like with my standards, I was like, no.
What about now? What about now?
I ain't dating now. I'm dating you.
What? I'm just saying.
Willing to overlook your double standard bullshit.
Girl, okay. So, why are they... Well, since we're together,
yeah,
and you're overlooking my double standards, why are dates important in a relationship?
Because we're humans, and humans are ever growing and changing beings. Mm-hmm. Like, who you met, prime example, who I met and this man here in 2020, November of 2020, the same stock is there, but the je ne sais quoi, the esprit of him has transformed into this beautiful being that's before y'all in these 6 years. Like, you gotta give space and also intentionally meet them where they are in those dates of understanding, like, where are you right now? Like, how are you feeling? What's the top of mind for you? Like, all those different things.
And I agree with everything he says. And just to add to that, I would say that in a lot of relationships, depending on like how long the tenure of your relationship, you can become complacent.
Yeah.
Or fall into routine. And so dates are a form of adding that spontaneity or like keeping things interesting.
Yep.
And so like whether we want to try one of their somebody's hobbies, or we're going to do something, both experience something new, mm-hmm. or, you know, just getting away from the world of that I'll say the community that we're used to, mm-hmm. and transcending ourselves into something else can kind of just liven up and just either bring back memories or trigger happy moments that you may have experienced, or just create a stamp in y'all's relationship of like, okay, we both tried this together and we want this to be a repetitive thing or habitual thing. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, so and
that's what I do appreciate. Yeah. It's like you learn something. You also learn something new about yourself.
Absolutely.
Like whether it's running a marathon or like climbing a hill or going hiking or whatever, like you were able to push yourself, and mm-hmm. it's rewarding to see that your partner supported you through everything, you know. Mm-hmm. So it's just dating is a learning experience, and it's also pulling you out of the routine. Yeah. To keep it exciting. So now it's time for
Tipsy Talk. The talk of the tipsy. Because you already heard it slurring and blurring all up and through this damn episode. And you see my drink is done, and he nursing his is about to be watered down. But so, tipsy talk. Should you, or when should you, share with your person of interest that you work in the adult industry, and what roadblocks might make it hard for people to accept it?
Because I'm not in the adult, I'm going to say that maybe the first date. Because now people ask, like, what do you do? Mm-hmm. So I feel like maybe that first date, that way, let's just get it out of the way. That way, again, you're not wasting your time. And so now we can have conversations on what does that look like? Mm-hmm. How will we maneuver in a relationship if we were to be together? Would you feel comfortable being on set or knowing my schedule and who I would be with, and how to mentally maneuver through a relationship knowing that I'm physically with these people, but emotionally I'm attached to you. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, I feel like maybe on that first date, that way they're not blindsided. Mm-hmm. And so you're not heartbroken if it doesn't work out. Because I know, like, you can say that you're okay with something until you're in it. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, okay. I don't like it. And then you can have conversations of like, what do you want this relationship to look like? Yeah. And I feel like that would still be like edge and flow of just like trying to see like what works and what doesn't work, because you may think what will work best. You don't know until you know. But until you're in it, until you see the results that you want to see. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like you just have to have a heavy communication. Yeah. Heavy communication.
And piggybacking, adding to that, one, I would shift the timeline of that. In the talking phase, before you actually get to the date, that needs to be discussed. Mm-hmm. Tipsy talk. So I'll emphasize that. Beyond that, I also stress the roadblocks, I think, is, again, that awareness of self. What is it that you will and will not tolerate in a relationship? Mm-hmm. Because, like my man stated, like, there are some things that the idea of it, it's like, yeah, okay, that's fine. It's not going to bother me. But you don't really know until you're in it what it really is and how it truly impacts you. So it's, one, being clear in that communication, but then also giving yourself grace and space, giving you and that person of interest grace and space to at least explore it, a little bit of experimentation to figure out, does this work for me or does this not? Because one thing I strongly encourage our community not to do is immediately cut shit off because you've never experienced it, you've never heard of it, and it's a just plain out no. Because why? Mm-hmm. Transparently, my opinion, Anthony's opinion, that's a little ignorant because you're basing it off of no experience other than I don't like that because I never heard of it. Mm-hmm. That's kind of like saying I don't eat asparagus because I can't spell it. So so that's my biggest thing there.
I do have a question.
What's up?
It just came to mind. Mm-hmm. Again, you don't work in the adult entertainment business, mm-hmm. but there was a story about a teacher who was he works in education. So there was a teacher who was an adult content creator, mm-hmm.
and she got fired.
Right. So, mm-hmm. What advice would you give when it comes to that?
One, cover your face. That's the first thing.
Okay.
Because no Sade, I understand education pays shit. Period. Regardless of what degree, regardless of what level and experience that you have, like, especially with the economy that we're living in now, it's never enough. Mm-hmm. It's never enough to live, but it's also never comparable to what you gotta fucking deal with and do. So do what you gotta do, but protect and preserve your identity and your personal brand. That's what I will say.
Okay. That makes sense. I was just wondering because I was like, oh, I wonder what he would say about that,
Because at the end of the day, it's not my business, and make sure that it's not my business.
Right. Or at least you don't have a face attached to it.
Make sure it's not my business.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm like, oh, I understand you might, teacher might not pay a lot. Yeah. That OnlyFans might be paying your bills.
Hello?
But, you don't want to get fired.
But protect yourself in all things.
Especially I feel like if you're working like middle school, high school, kids are already leaking like sex
Especially middle school. Oh my god.
They're leaking sex tapes.
Oh my gosh, it's horrible.
So that's why I'm like, the last thing you would want is that's gonna be the biggest scandal of the school year is a teacher who's on OnlyFans. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So and that's gonna spread like wildfire. So it's just like, ooh, protect yourself. Like Mariah said, protect yourself. But I was wondering, I was curious. I was like, I wonder what he would say.
Yeah, I mean, what about you? What were your thoughts there?
That I didn't know what to say. Me, I wouldn't care. That's just me.
Mm-hmm.
But I know other parents would. And it's just like, okay, same thing you said. There's a lot of precautions that you can take, whether it's the way you film, where it cuts your head off, or you're wearing your mask, or you can blur your face. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's a whole bunch of other things that you can go about doing it to where you're not exposed. So it's just like, we want to make sure that, again, I wouldn't care, but we want to make sure that if you do appreciate the work that you do and the position that you're in, whether it's teaching or some higher position, and you want to maintain that, you need to protect yourself at all costs. And that's why there's a lot of, I know for gay, I don't know about the straights, but I know there's a lot of mass content creators because there's just they want to create a brand in the sex of the content creator world, but they also want to keep that separate from whatever else they are, whatever else they got going on. So I get it. Plus, we'll get into that on another episode about why that is. But thank y'all for watching another episode of Sippin On Love. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow us on all of our social media platforms. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have TikTok, we have Twitter, X.
And to keep the conversation going, the drinks still flowing, continue to like and subscribe on all of our streaming platforms for the podcast. We are on iHeartRadio, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, because we're visual. But above all things, if no one's told you today, I love you, we love you, and keep sipping on love. Peace out.